right, we have fixed our audio issues, and we have Senator Harris back with us. I apologize for that, Senator. Thank you for sticking with us through it. Live TV. This is the way it is. Okay, so let's talk about criminal justice. You had a moment at Benedict College when you refused to participate in an event in which Donald Trump was being honored with a criminal justice award. An interesting choice. And when you pulled out of that event, the organizers that had put that together also pulled out. Then you did come back. A lot of naysayers who said, you know, you need the courage to participate. Well, you changed that event. You made that work. So that was, I think, a high moment for you on the criminal justice end. But you've also had some struggles on the issue of criminal justice, particularly with younger, progressive African Americans who aren't confident and who worry that a prosecutor, you know, might not be the person that they trust the most when it comes to criminal justice. How do you answer that, and how do you win over younger progressives who are worried, we don't know about the prosecutor, we don't know?
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you brought that up, Joyce. So first of all, the reason I pulled out of the event at Benedict College is because the students weren't involved. You know, this is an HBCU. I am a proud graduate of Howard University and HBCU. And on the issue of criminal justice, where we know this system has been so informed by race and has really integrated policies that have been about, you know, the result of mass incarceration of, in particular, black and brown men in America, the idea that they would have excluded these students from being a part of that program was just intolerable for me, which is why I pulled out. On the issue of this campaign and where I am on criminal justice, listen, I grew up a black child in America, and knowing the failure of the criminal justice system. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative or a friend, who has not been the subject of some kind of racial profiling or excessive force. So when I, as a child of parents who were active in the civil rights movement, made a decision to become a prosecutor, it was because I went in there with the intention of doing what I could from the inside to reform the system. And that is why I did, and also I know I'm not so good at asking permission. So I decided to go in where I could have the power to make decisions. And the decisions I made included creating one of the first in the nation programs that were around young people who had been arrested for drugs and getting them jobs. People said to me, what are you doing? You're supposed to be putting people in jail, not letting them out. I said, no, we have to reform this system. As Attorney General of California, I did one of the first in the nation requirements that the special agents, law enforcement, wear body cameras and keep them on full time. I created one of the first in the nation required training for police officers on racial bias. And I'm running for president because I know this system from the inside, and I know the reform that needs to happen, which is why I have a whole initiative that is about what we need to do to end mass incarceration, and which includes a sentencing reform, getting rid of mandatory minimums, what we need to do around expungements, what we need to do to shut down private prisons, what we need to do to require accountability from law enforcement, both police officers and prosecutors. In fact, I'm prepared to change the standard, so when we are talking about the force that a police officer uses, instead of asking, is it reasonable, we need to ask, is it necessary? And what I've done throughout my career to focus on women who are incarcerated and what we need to do to de-incarcerate women. And let me tell you, Joy, in this campaign, I challenge and I would ask that every person on that stage get asked a question about what they were doing in the late 1990s and the early 2000s to reform the system. Because I was there on the inside, pulling up my sleeves to do the work that was necessary. And it's all right for people to be on a debate stage in 2019 talking about what they're going to do. But I can talk to you about what I actually did. And yes, I decided, I chose a career that, yes, was going up the rough side of the mountain. I admit that. But I know also what we were able to accomplish, and there is still so much more to do, and that's one of the reasons I'm running.
I want to also get in a question to you about health care. We did a whole thing yesterday talking about the Medicare for All pitches. You're another candidate who is for Medicare for All. Oh no, can you hear me? Oh no. Have we lost the senator? Have we lost her? Have we lost you? Oh, well, I guess we have lost the senator again. I apologize to Senator Harris. We had some bugaboos that were in the system this morning, but Senator Harris, thank you very much. Hopefully someone on your staff will hear me saying thank you for you being here. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you back and ask you more questions. All right, more AM after the break.